going on around you,
Yeah.
what would you say is like a concern that you have about
So the
Islam?
biggest concern that I've got is I came here last week with a couple of my wives, and they've got activated third eye, so they see things. Because they're abused when they're younger, they have the ability to dissociate their consciousness from their bodies. So they essentially fly. They fly outside, so they're souls and they fly outside their body. But they also see things. So they see auras. So you've got auras and you've all got chakra systems. Now when we wandered through here last week, a lot of the Muslim men have got dark auras and closed hearts. So that's one of my main concerns. Another one is the infighting within the community. No, sorry. Thank you. That would be my main concerns.
Okay, so the dark aura. Did you get to see the dark
I
auras?
get to, not all the time, because it would be very distracting for somebody if they had to constantly see lights, auras, beings, attachments, and so on.
What do you make of my aura?
Oh, sir, I came here last week and you had a beautiful aura.
Thank you.
You had some beings with you.
Okay.
You had another angel with you, not mentioned in Islam. Shamuel.
Okay,
This is the archangel of love and good friendships and good relationships.
Okay. Well, that's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. So when it comes to angels in Islam, as you correctly pointed out, we don't. I mean, not all the names are known to us, but we do believe that there's, there's hundreds and thousands of them.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the spiritual dimension is very interesting. You mentioned about ley lines, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I did have an opportunity to look into that quite a while back, and it's interesting that you know about that. So what do you make about you've probably been following what's going on in Israel and Palestine, so
Yeah, of course.
what do you think is the involvement of kind of demons with what's going on
here?
here?
Something to do with the energetic placement there, and you've got the mosque, and you've got a lot of a lot of energy there at the moment. So they will be trying to sort of stifle that region and drag it down, and obviously there's a lot of prophecies that they're trying to implement. So for those prophecies to implement, they've got to wipe out certain things, and this is their prophecies that they want to fulfill. When I say they, I literally mean the elites, the Freemasons, the Luciferian and Satanic family members that are sort of controlling, everything as it is. So, like for instance, you've got Gaza, you've got Palestine, Israel, but all of the surrounding Muslim countries are not getting any support, are you? Yeah, zero. And the reason that will be is because
Very minimal, yeah.
Yeah, there's zero.
Negligible, yeah.
None at all. Literally. I mean, there's people over there doing some stuff, but it's not.
It's not what we need at this moment in time. We need hands-on people going in there, stopping what's going on, but merely condemnations.
Well, I think it's grassroots. If there weren't people to join the army, there would be no army. There would be no people to go in there and fight. And we know inherently that that's not what people are designed for. As they'll go home with traumas that will last them a lifetime. Because we're not designed to be murdering and killing each other.
My name's Zishan. What's your name?
Zishan. My name's Raphael.
Raphael. Oh, I haven't heard that in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Raphael. Okay, interesting. I like that name.
Thank you.
Maybe because I've got positive connotations when I was young with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that, I mean, who knows? And then
yeah.
afterwards, there's one of the Musketeers. He's not Raphael, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay. Maybe one of the, is it Saint Raphael?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Archangel Raphael. So he's mentioned the Book of Tobit, which is Catholicism, which goes back to 600 BC. There's a story about Archangel Raphael and the demon Asmodeus.
Right.
So you aware of the demons?
I mean,
King Solomon.
King Solomon, we don't believe was a demon.
No. Never said he was a demon, but he had control of demons.
Yeah, he had.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we call them jinn, so I'm translating in my head as you're saying
jinn
that.
Are different.
Yeah.
Jinn are different to demons.
So we believe King Suleiman,
Yeah,
he had control over the jinn and over the live creation. Like he could understand the birds, he could understand the insects, but also the jinns. We also believe that the jinns are, shaitan, the devil.
Yeah.
So little devilings, shayateen. So they're like the bad jinns. So there's good jinns and bad
there's good
jinns.
and there's bad.
Exactly.
Depending on how people work with them. But that's essentially, these are the demons that he used to work with, that he used to procure and work with all of these. And there's, how many wives do you procure when you get to heaven?
Procure, meaning how many wives would I get?
Yeah.
I guess it depends when I get there.
All right, the less. Then.
just
What's
be-
the least amount of wives you get?
To be honest, however many I can kind of handle, you know what I mean?
Oh, really? That's what I was told. Here.
If I can handle many, I'll take many.
Yeah.
If I can't, then I don't
So,
know.
how is it?
How is it like?
In the Quran, what's stated? The amount.
There's no authentic narration of a specific amount. I mean, people throw a number about.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no like.
And what about the amount of slaves too? I thought it was something like 80,000 slaves and 72 wives.
Yeah, so
That's the amount of demons that Solomon had.
So when it comes to like the exact number, I haven't come across a single authentic narration. But when it comes to what is going to be present in paradise for us, yeah, but I haven't heard that number. It's interesting. You've come across it.
Do you not think that the dark forces here are using religion to basically control, dilute, and separate the masses?
Oh, for sure.
Well, which is exactly what's happening.
For sure.
So do you not think if we?
I mean, Raphael, look at the fact that people, you ask somebody, an average Joe on the street,
Yeah.
if you have a camera, point a camera at them and you ask them, what's a man?
Yeah.
What's a woman?
Yeah. Well,
That person
yeah.
will be afraid for their job to tell you what a man or a woman
Oh no,
is.
that's easy.
Do you see?
That's easy.
He is to us.
Oh yeah.
Because we have moral anchorage.
Yeah.
But to somebody that doesn't have moral anchorage would struggle with that.
Yeah.
And they would say, it's up to the person. It's up to do what thou wilt.
No, that's
But that's the problem.
yeah. That's one of their sayings, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's why they do what they do. They think they can get away
So
with it.
Raphael, what's your understanding and what's your stance on the Prophet Muhammad's?
So he is a prophet, and that's about as much as I'll claim right now because I don't want to offend anybody.
You know what? With me, be frank with me. Reason being, reason being.
I don't want to because it's too many cameras, it's too many people.
No, because look,
I've been persecuted my whole life.
what you do, just cover
whole life.
and just be honest.
So-
Reason being, I'm flexible in the sense that obviously not somebody
Because
just.
of the things that I know,
Yeah.
there's certain groups, certain families, sectors of society that
I can try to
are-
possibly respond to them, or do you
No,
see?
they're like they've been. So I need to be careful. But so what? Yeah, that is nice. But it's that he's a prophet.
But you
and that's
you
about
deem him to be a prophet.
a prophet.
Do you believe that he received revelation?
I believe he received some revelation. Yes.
Some revelation.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Are you aware of some of the prophecies that he made, even pertaining the end of times?
Yes, but I'm not. Yeah. I
Okay,
am.
fantastic.
Again, this kind of information can be procured by any of the, the black magicians or the very high-ranking Freemasons that who had this information for years and years. So it's not like
Let me know what you think about this one.
all of it.
So this is in, I think, chapter 111 of the Quran. It's towards the end.
We like 111 because this is angel numbers. This is how angels tend to originally communicate with people of religious sort of.
So you follow numerology as well, yeah?
It's not so much numerology. So much. I associate these numbers personally with beings I work with.
Okay.
So, but do you ever see like number sequences at all? Like,
I think, you know what? It's like, when you go to buy a black BMW, suddenly you start noticing a lot of black BMWs.
no, I'm thinking more along the lines of like 3 nights in a row you're waking up at 444. And you're like waking up and you're like, oh.
No, I haven't seen
like
too
that.
much of that, no.
Okay, well you might do. In fact, I know you will do. So
Okay.
look out for that in the future.
Okay, fantastic.
For sure.
Okay, well, now that you've put it in my front of my consciousness,
Yeah, but so.
because I know a bit about cold reading as well.
Yeah, I know. Of course. Obviously, your peripherals is going to potentially pick up certain
You know what I
numbers
mean?
now.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
these
yeah.
things are going to be outside of what you deem looking outside. Like, yeah.
So here's one.
Yeah.
Chapter 111 of the Quran.
Okay.
There was a prophecy made
Yep.
that Abu Lahab, one of the uncles of the Prophet, would not accept Islam. Now, naturally, if a person, he was hell-bent on disproving the Prophet, on disproving Islam. So all he had to do, Raphael, was just to stand up and say, what? The Quran says, I'm not going to accept Islam? Hear ye, I accept
Yeah.
Islam. That would not only disprove the Quran, it would disprove the Prophet, and that would cause major issues. However, the author of the Quran knew that number one, he would never accept Islam, and number two, in the conquest of Makkah, most people accepted Islam anyway. He didn't survive till then. So the author of the Quran also knew that he would not survive till the conquest of Makkah. So this is something that's off the cuff, a prophecy that's in the Quran, we know a historical figure called Abu Lahab existed. We can verify that because the Quran is 1400 years ago. We have manuscripts as well,
Yeah.
Topkapi and University of Birmingham, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, we can verify that. And then if you say, what would you say about that? Just before I move on.
I'd say it's just not important to me. I'd say that I know people that have prophesied things themselves in this time and age, which, like me, I've just prophesied that in the future you will see number sequences and that will be related to angels, and then you go on to receive greater things from them and go on to do greater things.
Out of interest,
that's
what
like-
was the number that you said specifically that I would be seeing?
I don't know, but it could be anything from 1111 to 2222 to 4444 to 000 to 1234.
So here's now the difference
Yeah.
with the prophecy of Abu Lahab. It's two very specific things.
Yeah.
Number one, identifying the individual.
I'm not saying I'm a prophet or anything like
Of
that.
course not.
I'm a
Abu-
man of God for sure. But,
yeah, of course, we both are. When it comes to Abu Lahab, he was an individual, very specific. Him not accepting Islam, again, religion being very specific, and the negation of that being very specific. So
Yeah.
when it comes to black magicians, which is a very interesting thing, and I see that you're being respectful here, and I appreciate that. But I can see what you're implicitly saying, so I'll respond to that as well, hopefully.
I have my own personal experience as well.
Fantastic.
Yesterday, the day before I went to Bournemouth Islamic Centre and Mosque.
Nice.
And I prayed with the guys there, and I have my own way of praying. I have my own way of connecting to the angels and going on my, doing my missionary
fantastic.
work. But the way that I was sent there essentially to cement my own experience that it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold. The men were cold. The energy was cold. All the men there were ill too. So coughing, croaking. I don't know. Maybe they got jabbed up or something. Who knows?
Unfortunately, some people. So I'm just in the middle of a convo, Habibi, yeah? After the convo.
It's fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, bro. So at the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, of course there were black magicians there as well, people who claimed that they could tell the future. However, no one came with a prophecy similar to that of the Prophet, and no one even came with something similar as well. So the claim of another black magician could do it, it's very interesting. However, if that was the case, we would be seeing parallels with the Prophet, peace be upon him, and also people that wanted to bring him down as well. For example, in the Quran, this prophecy is there as well. It's in chapter 30, verse 2. Yeah, 30, verse 2, if I'm not mistaken. So the Romans were losing very badly to the Persians. Yeah, like really badly. They lost Constantinople, Egypt.
Yeah.
Heraclius was literally brought to his knees.
Yeah.
At that time, Raphael, Prophet peace be upon him, prophesied between 6 to 9 years, the Romans will actually beat the Persians. Now here's what's interesting. Now one thing that you probably have read about Nostradamus and the I Ching,
Could
and
these not be prophecies that they wanted to enact themselves if they were black magicians or Freemasons using religions and religious tech to control the masses?
not necessarily, because I'll tell you why.
Well,
Because
that's my part of my belief. So
okay, let me just understand this.
So irrespective of the intricacies of the book, I'm not really interested, to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm not interested. We could do the same with all of the texts. And, I've been there, I've read the Tanakh, the Old Testament, same thing. But, I've been there, done it, I've looked into, religion. I've been there a long, long time. I mean, I'm up here for very specific reasons.
But that's very interesting, because with this prophecy, because I've read the prophecies as well.
Yeah.
And the only reason, because I know I've got you off the cuff, I didn't want to obviously take too much of your time, but the reason why I quoted this was it ticked a lot of boxes, and I'll tell you why and what makes it unique. I haven't seen a prophecy like this in the Old Testament, the New Testament, or the Vedas. And the reason what makes it special is, number one, it's time specific. Yeah, 6 to 9 years, it's time specific. Yeah. Number two, it's not generic. It's about a specific group of people at a specific group at a specific time. And also, Raphael, what happens is, should we just move there? Let's just move down. Yeah, sorry. So, and another beautiful thing with this is, when it comes to religious or religion, sometimes what they tend to do is they use circular arguments.
Yeah.
Why is this true? Oh, it's in our book.
Yeah.
Why is the book true? Because it has this.
Yeah.
So the beautiful thing with this prophecy is there was a Christian by the name of Theophanes, and this is a book, it's a primary source called the Chronicles of Theophanes, that you can verify that this did indeed take place. That's why I quoted this to you, because you seem somebody that's learned, so I wanted to give you something that ticked different boxes in terms of time, in terms of holy book, in terms of the Prophet saying it, and in terms of somebody not in the religion saying it, and it ticks that historicity thing as well. But it's interesting that you said you've come across these in, say, like the Old Testament as well.
I do believe that Islam is so far the best religion on earth, but I think there is a better way, 100%.
Interesting. Let me know the things that you think can be improved.
So I think, well, I'll start with the greatest thing about Islam is its clear-cut definition of God being one, and that's that. Other than that, I think it's got a lot of issues personally. Obviously, my involvement within sort of people who've suffered and endured sexual abuse, I'm quite sensitive to young people, sex in itself, sexual acts, and stuff like that. So I obviously have quite a lot of opinions on how sex with young people can psychologically affect them, even if it is in a loving manner. I've been people who've been horrifically abused. So much so that it's taken years and years and years of them to overcome their abuse. So I'm well aware of how these things are, and I'm aware of how those here use people and sexual energy and children because of the purity, to take that energy, to harness it within the ley lines, to spread it out throughout the consciousness, and that's why we're in this dark, deep, fear-degraded consciousness, which is why the planet's in this.
You know what was interesting about what you said? You said you went to the Assalamu alaikum. You said you went to the mosque. Yeah. So I just want to kind of unpack that experience, because that links to like a few other things that you've said, because it's fascinating.
And I have been everywhere. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Mount Sinai. I've been to Florida. I've been Vatican. So I've been to.
How was the energy in the Vatican?
Horrible. Absolutely disgusting, as you can probably imagine. So yeah, horrific.
So when it comes to the mosque, you said you saw old people there.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying the mosque was horrific or anything like that. But
look,
I'm sensitive to energy.
Yeah.
People.
Look,
so
don't worry. Look, with me, you can be open, as you can probably tell from our conversation. I'm not going to take anything personally. I got a very thick skin, yeah, I've been through it, so I can tell when somebody genuinely has a question, because the Prophet, peace be upon him, said asking good questions is half of one's religion. And even in the Quran it says, if you don't know, ask the people that do know. So we're encouraged to ask, and if you don't ask questions, no matter how volatile they may seem, you're not going to know the answer, frankly. And if you are personally involved with people that have been abused, frankly, I believe you have a right, and it is a duty of certain people to answer those questions, whether they satisfy you or not. I understand.
I don't want to pressure these subjects. Not now anyway. Maybe next week or the week after, but not today.
Yeah. But there are certain things that you've said that I respect. You know what? I think should we kind of move at this angle, because they're just gonna.
Have to be in the back there.
Yeah. Let's just come. Because I think it's that winter wonderland thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Just do it from here, bro. Just do it from here. Yeah. So when it comes to the mosque, so here's how I see it. When a person goes to the mosque, a person is in need of positive energy. Like, typically speaking, a person's energy, when they are in a world that's pulling you towards materialism, individualism, and like you said, sick energies, especially the amount of money that's pumped into all of this stuff, the mosque is like a sanctuary.
You should be, definitely.
Yeah, you go there. Yeah, you go there with that energy, and the fantastic thing is, what you said about old people is, I find it amazing how an older person can, number one, go to a mosque, feel that they can go to a mosque, feel that there is a connection in the mosque, as opposed to, unfortunately and sadly, there is becoming a disjunct in society where people are literally just flinging them into old people's homes.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's exactly what we should be
doing. So here's the
older generations looking after themselves within society, not just putting them in homes. I mean, I think that's disgusting. I've seen it within my own family, and it's hurtful.
So here's what's interesting, Raphael, that if you stayed there maybe if you get a chance next time, the old people and the involvement in, say, the Ramadan time, where they're helping people come in, give food, they feel involved. Maybe because their son or daughter's at work, or nobody's at home, or they're ill or whatnot, they still feel a sense of connection, even outside of the home. And so that's, I guess, what I would say. And the negative energy could be, and I would say is probably the reason they're there in the first place.
Okay.
Because if the energy was really solid, they probably wouldn't. Yeah.
One thing that happened in there, a gentleman recited some prayers from Quran. That affected me, but other than that affected my body.
So here's the thing, Raphael. Here's what I would say. That I know you're not doing this, but because we have cameras here, I speak in principles.
Yeah.
So the general principle is, don't judge the religion by the adherents.
No, I don't.
Of course you don't, because I know you're smarter than that. But I'm just saying it like a principle. Of course not.
If
But
anything, I'm here to bolster it and then find common ground between everybody here and then see what we can do.
Of course. So here's the thing, that when it comes to Muslims, just imagine them. They've been handed a map. And in the map, they're told, go straight, go right, go left, there's a roundabout. Some people will be slow to respond to that map.
Yeah.
Some people are on that map, but they're taking a break. Some people have veered off the path.
Yeah.
They have the map. So them coming to the mosque, sometimes what happens is, you might come across a person who's just veered into the mosque because they're there seeking sanctuary. That's not a reflection of the religion, as obviously I'm sure you understand, but it's them seeking sanctuary in a place in which, of course, is known as the house, metaphorically, of course, the house of God. But here's the interesting thing. You were talking about the... unpack this for me.
Yeah.
Or you can just make another point about the mosque. I'll be happy to kind of hear what you have to say. When it comes to abuse and stuff like that, tell me more about that. Like, what were you saying? Like, have you seen it in religious figures that have been involved in abuse?
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I have. Obviously, a lot of the main. Look here. Let me show you something which should show you something that's. I think it was just. Again, you yourself should be able to have a degree of understanding of what it means without me explaining too much in detail, if I can. There, here we go. Okay. Okay. So we all know that within the main things, they're there. It's also, yes, essentially, I'm aware of it, I've seen it, and then I was introduced to a group of women who've obviously been involved in it, and through the work of God's energy, God's powers, God's healings, able to, and through his angels, to heal them.
That picture,
Yeah.
you showed me that picture. Is it okay if I mention that?
Oh yeah, you can if you like.
Okay,
yeah.
So the image, for the viewers that have seen it, the image was of a Masonic symbol that has a few religious symbols on there, like the cross, the crescent, and a few other religious symbols, which certain people have kind of made it seem...
What lodge was it for?
It was the Grand Lodge, wasn't it?
Grand Lodge of...
Israel.
Israel.
Yeah,
Okay.
Grand Lodge.
Do you know who the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of England is?
I don't know.
Duke of Kent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So do you know who's the overseeing lodge of all of the lodges in all of the world?
No.
The United Grand Lodge of England, which is actually Poway. So...
Holy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and you,
So here's, I just wanted to make one point.
where are you? Sorry, where are you from? Where's your?
Pakistan.
India. So yeah,
Yeah,
when
Hindustan.
they went over there, did you see? So when they went over there, they superimposed on a lot of the main buildings and a lot of the guys that they took over there, their elites and family members, and then they created a massive Star of David. Boom, 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 with all of the. If you look at topography Google, it's the same here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
You could just leave it down there if you want.
So even here in the UK, you got. So you're aware of. So actually, while I'm looking at this, how do you feel about the royal family? And do you feel that they rule by divine right?
No.
Oh, okay. Say no more. Also, so greeting as well. Do you know how Muhammad and in his community is it Ummah?
The Ummah, yeah.
Ummah. Do you know how he used to greet his brothers?
The Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah, his greeting, how he used to, and they still do it today in the West Bank.
Assalamu alaikum.
No, physical greeting.
Yeah, it was just a handshake.
No.
Two.
No.
Some say two, some
You
say
read
one.
Karen Armstrong's books, don't you?
Yeah, I'm
so she
familiar with
mentions
that.
it in there.
What she mentioned?
Well, it's a picture as well.
Okay,
How they greet. So they held hands and then they kiss each other's hands.
okay.
So,
Because the
Yeah.
thing with Karen Armstrong is she pays heavy influence on historical documents. We as Muslims, we have testimony.
yeah, so this is when she visited the West Bank and she
Yeah.
a picture of them in recent times and that's how they greet and she claimed that that's how Muhammad
Yeah.
used to greet.
So with us, we deem
Yeah.
that the hadith literature is more stronger than say the historical literature, and we don't believe that that's how the Prophet peace be upon him
Okay.
greeted. But it's interesting to know though. But another
And
thing,
you know that after hugging for 20 seconds releases oxytocin?
it does, yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
does,
Yeah, I'm so really glad of that. Right.
So before you move on, because you're like an ocean, and I think we're riffing off each other really
Yeah.
well. But for the audience, he made a point about the Grand Lodge, and he just the crescent on the Grand Lodge. As Muslims, we don't have a symbol in Islam.
Yeah.
And even like the face of the Prophet, peace be upon him, we're not allowed to depict the Prophet. We don't have the moon and the star is something that came from the time of the Ottomans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go.
So I guess what I was saying with that was certain people that may have been higher up have been inducted into a specific Freemason lodge, and then unfortunately and sadly they believe that we'll take our beliefs there, we'll do this. But I mean, you don't need to supplement your beliefs with anything else, especially like you said, something as demonic as that.
Yeah. So
because the
here we
belief
go.
contradicts
Right.
that. Yeah.
So this is my own personal work that I did over a decade ago. So this is Kensington Palace where we're at now. So you've got an upside down pentagram comes to the palace. We're up over here somewhere. Here you've got Regent's Park, distorted pentagram. So there's 7 royal parks here. Okay. Okay, right. London Zoo. So pyramid. This is an eye there, which is a pond that illuminates at night. I'm sure you're aware of the triangle in the eye.
Yes.
Okay. Here we have Buckingham Palace again. Triangle. Yeah. Okay. Here we got Hampton Court Palace.
That's
same
probably
thing
the
again.
clearest one.
Okay. Yeah, that's the clearest one. Now the next one is what we've got is the last. Now this is what I call the probably for you guys probably homage to Satan. So let's just go through them quick. So there's 7 parks: pentagram, eye, pyramid eye, pyramid eye, pyramid eye, and then that's the largest royal park, which is Richmond Park, which if I can get it,
That's Richmond Park.
that's Richmond Park, bud.
Wow.
That's not what you think it is. I know what it is because I deal with these, and also I channel poetry for all the archangels as well, which is on my page.
Through meditation, yeah.
Yeah, through meditation. This is me. This is all of my work here. So I even talk about dragons. This here. I mean, this is stuff that's got to be way beyond your sort of current consciousness or level of understanding, to be honest. But that's specifically where I speak about the beings here. And again, this goes back to 2013.
Was it the Arcturians? You believe there was civilization that came before, yeah?
No, that's not what they are.
Both of these hours, yeah?
This one is Jabby's.
Okay.
So as you can see from like the topography view of the royal parks, they got it honed in, and they got it through the whole world, all through civilizations, all through. So they got it all tied down as far as I'm concerned, and I do believe that they are using religions as a control mechanism. Because when I pray, I don't pray like you guys. I do it completely different. And I can give you like 10 or different techniques that far exceed, your idea of praying. Which, as you know science, surely.
Yeah.
Okay. So dimethyltryptamine, the spirit molecule.
Say that again?
Dimethyltryptamine.
Okay.
You know what that is, yeah?
No, I don't.
Okay,
No, it's
so
a chemical.
dimethyltryptamine is DMT. It's produced within the lungs, but it goes to the pineal gland, which is your third eye. So it's just why, you have a lot of people do a lot of breathing techniques, because then that's the spirit molecule builds up in their body, and that's when they're able to have out-of-body experiences, speak to the spirit guides, astral travel, and so on. And these are techniques that I don't just use myself. One of the main reasons I heal these women that have been abused is by giving them tantric foot massages, and it can build up an orgasmic energy in them. They're able to leave their body, and then they get to meet certain angels, and they get to be healed. And then these women.
How do you stop them from, let's just say, meeting demons and making the situations worse?
Yeah, because I'm aware of the demons too. I work with them. So before I started working with demons, I was working with angels. So I assimilated. So I was well aware of what angels were, how they worked. Again, so I know that an angel would never come up to you in a cage and give you a fucking bear hug. They don't work like that. They don't work like that. So
why wouldn't it work like that though?
Well, I'll reassess that claim. I've never ever. That's how demons work. Demons will give you sleep paralysis. They'll sit on you. They'll strangle you. They'll stick their astral tongue up your ass. They're hideous things. That's not what angels do. So angels do not hug you or bear hug you in a cave. I know how angels work.
Would you know the action of all the angels, especially Gabriel?
Yeah, so I generally for me, I know what Gabriel is to me. I know how I work with all the specific angels. Like my work with Michael is specific, my work with Raphael is specific, my work with Ariel is specific, and Azrael as well. So it's actually Azrael that taught me all about the fallen demons, and she sent me over to Munich to meet another person who's also a neurosurgeon in Munich, but she's female, and she's at the highest of her field, and she also uses Azrael and energy beings to heal. So she taught me a lot about demonology when I went over there, and then I came back here, and then I went en route mission.
So here's what happened. That obviously we believe that Gabriel was communicating with the Prophet, peace be upon him, and did hug the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he said that, I can't read.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of
so
times,
he got scared or something.
Then he got he got frightened.
Yeah, so angels do not frighten people.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he wasn't frightened because of the angel. He was frightened because when it stopped, he actually didn't feel himself to be worthy enough. Although his life is actually more clearer than the life of Jesus in terms of the literature that we have.
Yeah, the literature.
Yeah, but so we know more of the Prophet, peace be upon him. But the Prophet, peace be upon him, he was more kind of like, am I ready for this?
Yeah.
Am I worthy of this? And then when he rushed to Khadija, his wife, Khadija had a test. Now the authenticity of this is disputed. Regardless, is still reported in the books of Sirah, which is the life of the Prophet, peace be upon him. And she said something along the lines of, look, put your head on my lap. If you still see the individual, then it's probably a demon, because the demon's not going to go. If it's an angel, the angels have haya, they have modesty, and you're not going to see them in certain situations, in certain scenarios, like even the angel with Mary as well. When
Same angel.
yeah, so the angel took this part of the garment and blew into it. Didn't touch Mary. There was no need for touching and stuff like that. But you're right.
Yeah.
There is a demeanor of calm, of relaxation. It's not like that of fear. So it's interesting that that you mentioned.
I
Go ahead.
work with a lot of women, and I work with a lot of abused women. These women go on to have activated chakra systems, and they then work with the angels themselves. So I know a little 18-year-old girl she's healed over 260 birds, 80. She lives in the islands just off Sicily. So she herself, she's inherently a healer. And some of the ways she heals these birds is she takes them in and she works with the Archangel Ariel, and she heals them through energy through her chakra system. And she's an 18-year-old girl.
So the chakra system, just like the other systems, the chi system.
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of systems, and they're fantastic. And as Muslims, we have no issues. There are certain Muslims that are in China,
Yeah, well, that's
and
why
they
I find
use.
Islam restricted, because like when
No, Muslims can use chi.
Oh yeah, no, I
And
know,
they do,
but I
yeah,
just don't see any of them doing it. Like with so many of the closed hearts and dark auras that I've seen, you're clearly not. You know, your brothers clearly aren't sort of connected to a divine source, are they?
Shall I tell you why though?
Yeah, well, I can tell you why.
Let's see if our answers match though.
That old limp dick alley here as well.
He's got negative energy.
Yeah.
So here's
He
the.
advertises dick pills. What's that all about?
He's helping people that
No,
are struggling
Raphael
with
can
that.
help with that.
But
Angel healing.
But here's the thing, Raphael.
Them pills of Satan.
Let me know what you think about this.
Yeah.
So because I do healing as well. So
What kind of healing do you do?
so I do
So, I'll see another. So,
spiritual healing.
there you go there. Okay. I'm listening. I
Yeah,
am listening.
yeah, that's what-
I'm listening.
So with
Yeah.
with the spiritual healing, while some people will use chi, which again is effective, you have certain Hindu monks and Buddhist monks. They also
Yeah.
use spirituality. They also use, you know, like you said, the third eye, the pineal gland, etc., etc. But what I've found in my limited experience to be incredibly powerful is it's a system that is above that, which is
Okay.
angels,
Yeah.
and
think they're
and
on the same-
yeah, angels, books, and even spiritual energies transcended, and right at the top of that is God's energy. So when you tap into God's energy through His
Okay.
word,
Yeah.
because
So
we believe the
generally-
Quran is
okay.
verbatim the word of God,
Exactly.
isn't
So
it?
generally what I do is I don't do a lot. I kind of allow myself to be used as a conduit for God, and then depending on what work He wants to use me for and what angels want to use me, I kind of just got to move out of the way, and then they use me to do their work. Yeah? Okay. So this here. So I also make medicine, which I believe within Islam would be impermissible, which is
Medicine?
yeah.
We make medicine.
No. But what you say? So if I now like got a joint and I sparked it up, like what would that would be?
No, but if you're using it for medicinal reasons,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
okay.
okay. So I also please read it.
Okay.
Please.
Shall I read it out loud?
Oh, mate, if you want to.
Okay. So I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning making incredible powerful healing oils, ointments, balm, medicine from plant material, cannabinoids for my friends, family, those close. And, sorry, I pressed
that's-
something because it's got one of those.
Yeah.
It's supposed to. It said that I can press it, but it doesn't work half of the time. For my friends and family, those close and dear to me, this organic and natural Gaia God gave medicine is highly effective. It's treating cancers of all variety, autoimmune disease, mitochondrial disease, neurological disease, arthritis, Parkinson's, diabetes. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh, you make them yourself, yeah?
It's highly illegal
Okay.
because it's THCs.
Okay.
But again, I was going to ask about that. One of the reasons I thought
There's no.
somebody told me that's haram.
No.
Because it's
Because
THC, it will get you high. And they say, oh no, it's a drug. It's a psychoactive drug.
but it depends what you're taking it for the purpose. Like they'll say to a Muslim, oh, for you guys, you can't eat pig ever. Well, I would disagree with that because if there's no other source of food and you're
No,
gonna die,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
allowed to eat pig.
And you don't want
see?
to eat pig. They're horrible.
You don't want
things.
to?
No, they got parasites in.
Of
they
course,
got
of course.
stomachs.
Of course.
Essentially got a bit, human DNA.
But it's the same with
Terrible.
THC.
Why just pig so? There's loads of stuff you don't want to be eating.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
because they cut open a pig, saw they only had one stomach and not three compared to a cow, saw they had parasites in it, ate some of it, had the squits and probably went, it's not good for you.
But the thing is
What
that
they ate.
yeah.
I don't even think you need a revelation from God to understand that pigs are
That guy.
good for
What
you.
do you think about his energy?
Which one?
This
Him,
one, the one
yeah.
shouting. Yeah.
You need to hug.
He's a bear hug. So yeah. So what I do.
So if you do your energy healing, how can you not heal laying hands?
No, I don't just randomly offer the healing to anybody. It's the people that want it because, like you said, I mean, it's draining and there's a lot of commitment to it as well. Like if you're offering healing to somebody, you need to be making sure that your energy is good as well. Yeah, and that energy is reliant upon actions, and actions are reliant upon choices, and choices are reliant upon our mental energy, and it's very draining.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing that, I need to make sure that I've done my kind of homework as it is, and make sure that I'm at a place that I can provide good, positive energy and vibrations through the Book of Allah. So when I'll do that, obviously it's not easy. So I wouldn't just offer it willy-nilly, and I would do that to obviously the people close to us, because there's always ways that you can grow, and sometimes you feel that, you know what,
I was kind of being rhetorical. I know why you're here.
You know what I mean?
I know why you're here.
So when it comes to that sort of stuff, it's like yourself. Like, we came and we shared so many fantastic ideas, and hopefully the people watching us having a fantastic conversation, they can also pick up certain things. And at a time of darkness,
nobody here is interested in like truth, are they?
That's
They're
the thing.
just interested in shouting at each other and trying to get there. Like, they're not here doing God's work. None of them are connected to angels. So it's like, I don't want this.
I don't think anybody wants that.
I don't want this.
That's why you got people
My
walking
wives
past.
don't want this.
You know what I mean?
They don't want none of it. And they're angels. So if angels are walking through here and telling you they don't want none of this, what does that tell you about Islam?
So no, those are Christians, by the way. That's the Christian corner. The Islamic corner is there. Let me tell you one thing, Raphael, and this is what I say. And I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I said, you've got certain people coming here that insult the Prophet, peace be upon him. Yeah. I said to him, as a Christian, would you go and tell him to stop doing it? And he said, no, not really, and this and that. And I said, look, I'm giving you my word, camera, this and that. If there was somebody here insulting Jesus, if it was Ali, if it was Muhammad Hijab, if it was Mansoor, Hashim, I would go to them and I would say, bro, stop this.
Yeah.
This is not the way to do it.
See, again, like you said, you're thick-skinned. Why can't we all be so thick-skinned that it doesn't matter whose prophet we insult? Is it can we really be that offended?
But here's
Can
the
we
thing.
not just put it down to the other person's sort of hurt and
You can,
insecurities?
but that's what we do here anyway. Like that person, Victor, when you leave and you hear what he's saying, that's literally what he's going to be saying about the Prophet. It's literally a stream of insults. It's like he's been paid to literally come and incite people. And that's the issue, Raphael, because when you incite people, you create a barrier, and then to spiritually interface with them becomes difficult because that barrier goes up.
Yeah, well, that's
Do you see? That's why my advice to them would be, you know what, disagree as much as you want. Raise the issues as much as you want. Insults, the conversation can progress further without insults. That's all I say. So that's my prerogative, and that's why I say it's not beneficial for me to insult. For example, even if you said that, you know what, I believe this, even however absurd it is, I'll still give you that decorum.
I don't mind. Like, it's my life, it's what I live.
You know what I mean? So if you believe, if someone, Steve comes here, say I believe in the banana god, I can insult it, but like you said, it means something to him.
Yeah.
So for me to say, that banana god, he's extra high in potassium, mate. Seeing him, it's like this. Why is he shaped like a knob or this? You know what I mean? So that sort of stuff wouldn't be helpful. It would actually hurt him. And now, if I want to spiritually heal him or speak or interface with them, it's not going to work. There's no point. So it's not like, would God want me to do that? Of course not. You know what I mean? So you mentioned one thing, Raphael, which was the energy that you felt when you had the recitation of the Quran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that more, and then let me know what you feel.
Okay.
Like, even on YouTube, type in Quran recitation, put it on. Even if you fall asleep, let me know the vibrations that you feel. Let me know the energy that you feel.
Beautiful.
And because honestly, like, I'm a young guy. I'm a YouTuber. I make YouTube videos, and so alhamdulillah, things are all right. It's Sunday. I should really be at home, just chilling, Netflix, and but the thing is, Raphael, I have used my life experience, and I genuinely can say, and that's why I come even to Speaker's Corner, because I believe that even if you put it against historicity, even if you put it against logic, even if you put it against prophecies, the Quran, as you said as well, in terms of strength, the Quran is head and shoulders above the rest. Why? Because the claim that we make even as Muslims, and I believe this as well, that if loads of people are coming to the park with different beliefs, Raphael, feel free to jump in. I don't want to obviously hog all the time. But if somebody comes in and says, look, believe in this book, if you don't, that you're going to the hellfire, my first question will be, is it the same book that came from God as been changed and tampered with? If they say it's been changed and tampered with, I say, you know what, that's problematic. But the Quran is something that I can, even to an average individual at 11, 12, I can show them that how the Quran is preserved, that of all the old ancient holy books, the Quran is the only one that's been mass memorized from children as young as 6. So Raphael, if all the books are burnt, the Quran can be reproduced word for word. It's in Arabic. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and that even if it is a religion that takes over, and then people cement that personal relationship with God, that's going to change the world immensely. Because how do you feel about like Sufism?
Sufism is definitely that's Sufism. Obviously, just with any other subject, there's distortions that are present. But Sufism means spirituality and connection with the divine. Like Sufism, zuhud, tazkiyah, purification of the heart. Because the Prophet peace be upon him said, there is a piece of meat in the body. If that is pure, then the whole body is pure. If that is corrupt, the whole body becomes corrupt, and that is the heart. And even the heart, it is very important that we purify the heart by purifying our gaze, purifying our intention, purifying ourselves from the spiritual maladies. And that's something that is integral part of Islam as well,
So I'll just show you one more thing. But while I'm looking for this here, which is in regards to the heart, I just wanted to ask you, because I was thinking about it on the way down, because I didn't bring my Quran, I was going to look through it on the way up here. What demons are mentioned in there? Like what gods? Because is mentioned in there about Elijah overthrowing some of the temples. And are you aware of what temples they were, what gods they're praying to, what they're doing in those temples, and why?
So when it comes to certain demons, there are certain demons mentioned in the literature. For example, certain demons that stay in the toilet, certain demons that distract you in prayer. The names off the top of my head, I wouldn't know, but if you really want, I can track them down, and next time we speak, I can bring them up. But definitely, they are mentioned in the literature and the hadith, especially the hadith of the Prophet peace be upon him.
I don't think you can show anyone this. This is not what I was looking for. Can't find it, to be honest. Okay, I'll show you this. What I was looking for some research that I did a Facebook post on it. But I'll show you that because it's information. Because this is like me doing some healing through my heart chakra. So that's a similar thing that I do, but with much greater sort of force. And it's not me that does it. I sort of need to move out the way. Like literally, when that happened, I literally had something behind me working through me to heal my wife.
That's fantastic.
That's
fantastic. And the healer needs to be healed as well. And we need it. And I'm telling you, Raphael, from experience, the vibrations that you'll feel from the Quran and the depth in the Quran, in the intonations, in the frequency, it's just it's something that it's completely unique, as you'd expect the word of God to be unique when hearing it in the original language. We do believe that the Bible once upon a time was authentic, but it got corrupted afterwards. So there is truth in there as well. But to decipher the truth, we wouldn't know unless, of course, it's confirmed by the Quran. But the Quran, of course, in terms of replication, in terms of preservation, the Quran stands head and shoulders above the rest. So when it comes to that, let me know. It would be interesting to kind of hear your experience as well. We memorize it as well. We use it in healing as well. And,
personally, I wanted to learn sort of Arabic before I'd even read it, because like I said, even with, like I said, within the Bible, there's so many distortions and variations and different translations, and so I think it's best to like for instance, there's the word there where if you have a disobedient wife, you can strike her, but apparently the word strike is different. So I'm still trying to understand, before I can sort of say, hey, I know that angels don't want you hitting your wife no matter what, because I work with them, and I know that when I go to heal somebody and I've got angels working with me, not once would they ever allow me to hit a woman, ever. Like it's really as simple as that. I will fight a man to death if they think that they should be able to. So,
But what if that man says that, look, we have a contract and we're actually...
oh yeah, yes.
Do you see?
Yes.
So circumstantial.
So circumstantial, of course. So like, like when I started doing the work,
Woman's being abusive to the kids, the police will come and they will physically restrain her,
Yeah.
even if they have to harm her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
And again, also within my community down south, I had going back years, did work within the community with, within abusive families, and there is, a disproportionate amount of abuse within certain sects of society. So I'm also aware of that as well.
but bear in mind, but it's interesting that you say that, and it's good because these are things that I've heard.
Yeah.
And they've been mentioned as well, but these are more cultural based. Like Islamically, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a single instance where the Prophet, peace be upon him, ever struck his wives negatively or aggressively. And here's a misconception as well. Certain people, what they'll do is they'll try to prey on your ignorance by saying, just read the Quran. The Quran is to be taken hand to hand with the literature of the Hadith as well.
Yeah.
It's the Quran and
That's
the
why
Hadith.
it's a lot to...
Yeah. So like the Quran will say pray, but it won't
Yeah.
tell you how to pray.
Okay.
So we need... So we need...
the way that I pray is the way that I see it for my work here is 10 to 20 times more effective than the way that I prayed with my brothers in the mosque sort of yesterday. So which is well said, direct experience, correlation, well, that's not fit for me, so I'm going to carry on doing what I'm used to, because that's how I connect to God and his angels, and that's what works best for me. So I take that and I throw it in the bin.
But also bear in mind as well that when you go into a mosque, bear in mind these are spiritually hungry people that have gone.
Yeah.
And these are people that are in need of healing and of lessons themselves as well.
So again, this is what I'm saying. So a lot of the time, they themselves, they need healing. So some of the men I said that I was fully aware they're healing. That was like that's the first thing I noticed with people is what they need healing with, where they need healing, how can I do it, how can I implement it, and so on. So yeah, I am aware of that. But I'm also aware that maybe if they found other methods to heal themselves, like even through calming of the mind and meditation, salt baths, sun gazing, bare feet, all of these things have an immediate effect on the body, and it's physiology.
They do indeed, yeah.
So and I think it sounds a bit too restrictive.
No, but
so if you
you know what, Raphael, a few things that you're saying, I think genuinely you've been misinformed, because some of the most interested in herbal medicine and these treatments that you've said, most of what you've said is what I'm familiar with. That I've kind
that's
of
what
looked
you
at.
are, but this mosque I went to yesterday, where all the men were ill, it wasn't indicative of healthy people. Yeah. So direct experience.
But bear this in mind, Raphael. Obviously, I don't want to question your direct experience, but certain mosques. I'll give you an example of what happens up north. So here, there'll be a big mosque.
Send me an invite.
So there'll be a big mosque up north, and what will happen is there's a big juicy community there, but then there's infighting that takes place. Yeah, you've got certain people, you've got the Pakistanis, you've got the Bangladeshis, then a certain group will say, you know what, we don't feel that we're being heard here, then they will break off and they will make another mosque. Now that mosque will then receive money from people that have been using interest, that are not paying attention. Raphael, you can't expect people of substance to be going to those mosques. I'll give you an example. They say that back in the days, one scholar said this, back in the days the mosques were unbaked. So the people that emerged from those mosques were baked.
But I know a few sanctuaries.
Let me finish this.
I work with healers that have got sanctuaries.
Go ahead.
So I know what it's like to be in beautiful energy. So I know the difference. And obviously I travel ley lines. So I've done the St. Michael ley line as well. I've done Michael's Mount. I've done with my...
Yeah. But it's interesting what you're saying, because another thing that I would argue also is, when, for example, you're in the hustle and the bustle of London, a person that spent there, if a person, Raphael, has spent most of the time here, or let's just say in Brighton, you spend most of your time at the beach, using your gaze and, looking at things you're not supposed to be looking at and absorbing that negative energy or whatnot, then you suddenly go to the mosque. That spiritual energy is not going to be indicative. It's not going to come to you straight away. It's going to require a lot of time for you to shed that negative energy and for it to be replaced with positive energy. And in mosques, that is the place of angels as well. So if you stay there long enough, you will see the angels. You will see. And try it, because the thing is, maybe you just caught it at a bad day, or maybe...
I know the reasons I went there.
Yeah. But all
I will be going back, but it's
it'll be interesting. I'd love to go with you and
oh yeah, I'd
see.
do that.
Yeah.
Do a vlog.
Yeah, and then see the experience there, because I'll be honest with you, there's certain mosques that you do go to, they're genuinely struggling to get a good building, and then even with that, there's so much infighting and negativity, it takes away from the spirituality.
Yeah.
Certain mosques, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I've seen them. They look beautiful. Buildings don't get built like that unless they're done with divine energy, like divine inspiration. I'm aware of that.
But then here's the thing as well.
I'm just telling you my experience.
Yeah, of course, and I respect that, and that's why I'm not
Yeah.
negating that. But I'm thinking, because I've been in hundreds of
I'm sure
mosques.
you'll tell me that's beautiful energy.
What? No. That you know already. What I'm trying to tell you is something that is of benefit to you, which is the fact that you'll go into some mosques, and here are some of the reasons that may be the potential for negative energy.
Right, yeah. No,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And obviously, when men have darkened hearts, closed heart chakras, and broken auras, they are influenced by energy. So they're more inclined to do things.
Yeah.
Like you yourself know that the more you pray, the more spiritual protection you'll receive.
Yes.
So, and I know that some here who clearly do not have a huge amount of spiritual protection. So you can claim they're Muslims, but they're not, From my experience, I'd say that a lot of them probably aren't praying as much as they should.
There you go.
But that's like, I don't want to make claims or anything like that.
But that is, it's like the scholars give an example of, say, alcohol. If a person takes a little bit of alcohol, or the more you're taking, you will see the effects of alcohol on the body. So similar with faith. If a person is truly embodying the faith, absorbing it, you will see it, whether it's through energy, whether it's through something.
Because I think yourself is a prime example. For sure. But that's it. And you're basically one of one.
Well, I'll take that compliment, but that's the thing, Raphael. What we see is, firstly, I appreciate the compliment, but I think obviously there's always room for improvement. There's always, people that you can absorb and improve yourself and make yourself better and help and assist other people. That's the primary reason that we're here. Because I'm going to be honest, certain people, they have no faith whatsoever.
Yeah.
They get heartbroken.
And a lot of the time they don't have the experience to have any faith. And
they can't hack it. And then they want to kill themselves.
And they're getting attacked from so many different directions, whether it's a family unit, whether it's a doctor putting on depression or anxiety pills, whether it's through the media, the newspapers, the radio, whether it's the indoctrination, whatever it is, everybody's just getting blasted from all areas.
That's right.
There's a lot of things that the people at play are attacking us. So,
and look,
I don't want to call it conspiracy, but
no, but I mean there's a lot of things that were somewhat used to be conspiracy theories have been proven to be true.
Yeah, of course.
So
I think with that kind of thing, everybody's got to do their own research and come to their own conclusion.
Yeah.
As long as you sort of cross-reference everything you read, I don't think you can go too far wrong.
Yeah. So definitely. I mean, when it comes to energy and stuff like that, the Quran is definitely there. And when it comes to like the other types of healings, the astral projection and stuff like this is not something that's alien to Muslims and Islam. But what will happen, Raphael, is you'll meet different Muslims at different parts of their journey, and some people that, because the thing with the beauty of Islam is even if you just seek refuge just with Islam itself, Islam will be sufficient. Islam is enough. However, Islam doesn't claim to tell you about dinosaurs. The Quran is not going to tell you about all this sort of other healings and this and that. The only issue would be when it contradicts certain fundamental principles of Islam. But astral projection and stuff like that, these are experiences. Earthing yourself. Like even if you look at the prayer, and that's what I'm saying there. the prayer that used to be done originally was not done on concrete floors, Raphael. It was done where you take your shoes off and then you put your head on the ground. You are earthing your whole body. That's, Raphael, how it's supposed to be done. But
So you
unfortunately
can
and
also
sadly, we do
pray
it on
like
carpets.
that too, and then if you take your knuckles, which is a perfect fit for your eye socket, you're pushing a tiny bit of blood pressure to your pineal gland. So at the same time while you're praying, you're activating your pineal gland.
The mere fact that you're putting your head on the ground and you're connecting your pineal gland to the energy and the free radicals from the earth and stuff like that. There's so much to it, but unfortunately, sadly, like you said, because there are certain powers that are hell bent on commercializing us like products, and that comes at an expense of our spirituality, and that makes our spirituality compromised. Because I'd love to pray on the grass, but if I was to go on there, the policeman would say, "Sorry, you're not allowed to do this." You see,
No, they wouldn't.
It's happened before.
No. Sorry, I'm not disputing your claim. I can't believe it.
I
No.
wish that was.
Really?
Yeah, because Muhammad Hijab was here, and since that time, the officers came and said, "Look, you guys can't do that anymore because the Christians are complaining that you're turning it into like a religious thing." And no, you can't do it over here. That's why there's a place now outside. You know, as soon as you're entering from
the
Mablat,
police are all like Satan's henchmen. You know, they've all got these pentagram on their third eye.
Right.
You know, they got the Masonic checkerboard on their hats. And you know, when they first do, they take an oath to the Queen. And you know, I've just shown you the Queen's largest royal park.
I'm sure some of them. I mean, poor guys, they're just trying to do it to feed their families or whatnot, isn't it?
Exactly, they're just souls
that's
came
what
in
it
at the
is.
wrong time.
But Raphael,
Yes,
it was
beautiful. Thank you
beautiful,
very
fantastic, and it's good because then. Because it's really disappointing to hear when people that have started the journey of Islam themselves, then they're telling other people that no, this is not in Islam, that's not in Islam.
I won't tell anybody.
No, I'm talking about them that have said that to you. It's
I will tell
disappointing that
anybody,
they
try
said,
it. Go to a mosque, speak to somebody.
Because I'm disappointed
Read the
that they said
Quran.
that to you and made you believe that, because Islam is very there were certain scholars. There was one particular scholar in India who was actually healed by a monk because he had a physical ailment. The monk understood Tib. And he understood and he was able to heal him. Do you see? But we believe, just like with anything else, we believe the highest, obviously, healing is the healing of the spirit and the soul. And we believe that you can kind of tap into God directly without an intermediary. And that's obviously what we
we've got to do
claim.
now is we've got to teach our brothers how to make tantric love to our sisters, fuse our 6 chakra systems, loop that energy, take them to the angels, activate their kundalini and their DNA, and turn them all into goddesses. But
That's
actually just beautiful women who are on the world healing each other and
not
everybody else.
objectifying them and using them as
exactly.
I agree with you. A lot of people, I mean, the YouGov poll said that 4 out of 5 women have been sexually abused in this country, so there's a lot of that unfortunately going on. So we have that responsibility to kind of, number one, perfect our own energy so we're in a position to kind of help the energies as well. Raphael,
Thank you very much.
pleasure was mine, my friend.
Nah, all mine.
Take care.